Hi, listeners. Thanks for joining us as we chat with the super talented Dylan McDermott and discuss his return to Law & Order in organized crime, Hollywood, and connection. If you're watching us on YouTube, we know major Zoom snafu. We didn't know how to pin Dylan, but now we do. So we'll have to have him back so you can see even more of his often voted sexiest man alive face. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Who's excited about tonight's guests?
Oh,
I
am
am
so excited.
So excited.
Sloan it's been a big part of her marriage. Yeah.
Forget my marriage.
A big part of you.
Big part of her life.
Forget Don.
With Don,
Let's
without Don, whatever.
Yeah.
He's been a big part of her life.
Poor Don probably had no choice.
No.
No, actually, he was a big fan, but
Not as big of a fan
no,
as you.
I mean, we were fans in different ways.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Ooh.
got it.
That I believe.
Yes.
We're on the RAGS, by the way,
Yeah.
Because Risa,
because it's that time of the
Amy.
month, obviously.
Amy,
Gloria.
Sloan.
Sloan. I love that.
I know. It's a thing.
I love that.
do we have any headlines?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now, right?
There is a lot going on.
So
in the world.
disturbing. Everything is so disturbing. I just
Except for
can't
the-
even cope.
Except for the launch that just happened today.
Yes.
It was the Inspiration 4 launch, the first 4 civilians to ever be launched into space. They're circling the Earth for 3 days. They trained, I don't even know how they did their training. And again, we've discussed this on the
We
podcast.
did discuss it last
But
week,
the one
yes.
girl who is a cancer survivor, and she is the first person with a prosthetic to go into space. And they went up successfully, so they're going to circle now, but that wasn't my headline.
Incredible.
Maybe that
That's
was
a
a kudos.
kudos.
That's a kudos.
Yeah, that's a kudos.
Yeah.
There is another headline that also our guest was somewhat involved in his family. Like what today, or on this day, Simone Biles, she blames the FBI as well as USA Gymnastics and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee for covering up USA Gymnastics team doctor's abuse.
It's so crazy.
And she says that
This was in the Senate and House today, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
She blames everybody for covering it up and not believing them. And there were many
They get
gymnasts.
But
FBI
it's the
agents?
history of
Yep.
women. It's always.
And
They were
she
never
says he was
believed.
more a pedophile than he was a doctor.
I'm surprised they didn't
Well,
say
yeah,
it
'cause
was.
they started
well,
out as
look
little
at the
girls.
gymnasts.
Yeah, right, of
Look at the
course.
outfits the gymnasts wear. How could the guys not be? I mean, it's
Yeah.
always.
Who said that?
No, I'm just saying
Oh.
that's.
She's surprised they're not saying it.
Yeah, I'm
now, because
surprised.
that is
It's you know
practically-
how short was your skirt? How
Yeah.
low was your top? When you know they're gymnasts with these
Yes,
girls.
and our
tight
guest
little
is also
bodies,
about
without going to a doctor who's supposed to be taking care of them, not abusing them.
And an interesting point one of the gymnasts brought up today is that other girls hear, oh, that's the Olympic team's doctor. So all these other
Yeah.
girls start going to him too. So he had hundreds of patients. So presumably
so
that were all
upsetting.
molested.
Repulsive, yeah.
Repulsive.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Who couldn't
Thanks
you
for bringing
trust,
that
you
up.
know?
yeah, you're welcome. Sloan, you have a really good one.
Yeah, I kind of do because it kind of leads into our guest today because I'm kind of obsessed about this murder.
Oh my God,
And
me too. Me
then
too.
there's a scion of a South Carolina family who was a big lawyer, the whole family, a dynasty of lawyers. All of a sudden, his wife and son are killed. And then a few days or a week later, he's shot but not killed. But he was hoping to be killed so that the $10 million life insurance would go to the son that was still living, although we don't know why he had did maybe he have his wife and son killed so that he would get it's so murky and crazy. And then they found out in the last few hours today that the housekeeper died in 2018 that worked for them, and his law firm made $166,000.
Oh, he got fired from his law firm.
Son, the children of his housekeeper that should have gotten some money for dying on the stairwell in their house and they never were able to do an autopsy, the kids got nothing, but he got $166,000 for his law firm. Anyway, the other thing, the reason why this leads into our discussion is he was a 20-year opioid addict while he was practicing law.
But our guest, by the way, is not a 20-year
No. He's not. He just
addict.
plays
No, I'm just teasing.
someone who makes money on getting people addicted to opioids. Anyway, it's a kind of a 48 hours, 2020, or
It's gonna be
a
a great
movie.
movie,
It's
yeah.
going to be. It's still.
It's a crazy story.
It's still unfolding.
So speaking of drugs, our guest, and I know Risa's dying to introduce him, he plays a drug dealing businessman who's
Which is what's going on in our
Very
Yes,
handsome
yeah.
drug dealer.
I mean,
So if you want, let's
hurt.
introduce him. You may know our next guest from his many movies and television shows like The Practice, American Horror Story, and the new Law and Order Organized Crime. He's a Golden Globe winner, a multiple Emmy Award nominee, and let's not forget, he was voted one of the 50th sexiest men or people in People magazine twice. Our friend, Dylan McDermott.
welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for being
joining
here.
us.
hi.
Yes.
Oh, is that your disco?
You brought music. Oh wow! He brought music.
It's our first dance party.
Yeah, it
My
is.
intro. That's my intro music.
I
That's good.
love it.
That's good. That's
Thank
really good.
you.
Let's start the beginning of when I knew you. Except for when I
That
tell the story, it's different than when Dylan tells the story. You know how when you tell a story, everybody remembers it differently, except for the
Absolutely.
person that was actually going through it, so they remember.
Probably the best.
Do you remember how did we meet?
we met. I came up to the office, William Morris at the time, to do a monologue for you and Kevin Huvain to see if you wanted to represent me. And I poured my heart out on your office floor, and then you said no.
See,
Wait,
I
what
don't remember
monologue?
it
Do you
that way.
remember? Do you remember the monologue?
Yes, it was GR Point, a play called GR Point,
But-
and I did everything I possibly could, and it was
No, you walked out of the office, and then Kevin walked into my office because we used somebody else's office because our offices were the size of this table, if you can see it. And we went into the head of the department's office. And Kevin said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think he's brilliant." But we didn't sign you from that?
No, you said call us when you're in something. And then I got a play on Broadway. Yeah. And then you came to see the play, and that's when you signed me.
He was brilliant, okay? I'm just telling you. He did a scene. How hard is that to do a scene in an office? He was
Really
brilliant.
hard.
A
No,
monologue. Amy's
If he
an
did
actor.
a scene, that would be
Oh,
a
that's
little
true. That's
crazy.
true. By
But okay.
himself.
If he played.
But
He
do
could.
you remember your
Not that you
first
couldn't.
your
You
first
could.
movie that
But wait,
that,
help me understand. He says you say call him when he's in something. Isn't the whole point of having you is to get him into something?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you would think. You would think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But-
Fortunately, he got a play.
But
so
sometimes
Okay.
you're snobbier than that, and you only want to represent somebody after
That's-
they've already
well,
had
they-
their
when they
work.
But
see that
then they don't need you. They're already.
They do. They still need you. You needed us, right?
I definitely needed you.
So your first movie was Hamburger Hill. Remember that?
That's right. It was an open call.
That was a brilliant cast too.
Oh, yeah. It was Don Cheadle and Courtney B. Vance, Steven Weber.
Wow.
It was the beginning of all our careers.
Michael Nichols, who I just saw in Athens. I see him because he's Heather Graham's best friend now. Do you ever see
Okay.
him?
I never see him.
Okay, but here's the thing that I remember most about Hamburger Hill. The impression that you did of John Irvin, the director.
Let's see.
Do you remember that?
Yes. It was, it was a brutal movie. 2 people died making of the movie. We had 2 funerals. They burned 38,000 black tires to block out the sun. I mean, it was a heavy duty movie. We traveled like 2 hours into the jungle every day. It was my first movie. I was like, damn, if this is making movies, I don't know. Maybe I'll just like stay on the stage because this is like,
How did
whoa.
people die making the movie?
One
Accidents?
was electrocuted because it was raining all the time, and the other one had a heart attack.
Wow. Oh.
I don't even know that I
Sad.
knew that. That is a rude awakening for the beginning of your career.
I'll say.
Yeah, really.
That's crazy. And do you remember, it wasn't your next movie. I've told this story before on this podcast. Do you remember when you did Steel Magnolias?
Oh my God, yeah, that was a huge movie, and you know what after Hamburger Hill, I just couldn't believe when I got to the set, the craft service and the catering was like a Michelin restaurant,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, on Hamburger Hill? I mean, on Steel
Steel
Magnolias?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. The amount of food that was
Oh,
just
Gloria would
available
be so
all the
happy.
Oh,
time.
Gloria would be, these two would be so
I'd be
happy.
happy.
So yeah, no, it was remarkable to be on that set with that amount of talent. I mean, Sally Field was just incredible. I mean, the cast was phenomenal.
Do you remember being in a car, driving back to the house in the back streets of Natchitoches, Louisiana? Do you remember being in a car with, you were driving, Julia was sitting there, and I was sitting in the back? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember
We
this?
saw a ghost.
We saw a ghost.
All three of us saw a ghost, so it was real. I don't think I've ever seen a ghost since,
Me neither.
but Louisiana, there's a lot of ghosts.
Right, that's true.
But we all saw it,
We did.
and we were, whoa, what was that?
I saw this thing go by the car like this, like a whoosh of smoke, but going this direction by the car. And I was kind of quiet for like 5 seconds. And then I went, did anybody see that? And you went, I saw that. And she went, I saw that.
Yeah.
We all saw it. Don't know what it was.
No, we don't know what it is. It could have been a rival agent.
Probably was.
You know how agents were. You know, they try to
Yeah.
steal your clients. Like, probably.
Any way they can. So.
Yeah.
Right. Any way they can. Anyway, it's true.
Not opposed to going to other dimensions to do it.
I think that Sloan actually, I think you've been a big part of her marriage.
Oh, yes.
Really?
When
He's
we
blushing.
first got together, we never could miss Bobby on the practice. Both of us were in love with Bobby.
She and her husband.
Yes.
Yikes.
Oh,
And then now you're my very favorite character on TV.
really? And
Yeah,
organized-
I actually think you're sexier now than you were in 1979.
Well, wait a
or
second.
7. No, I think this is such a hot, juicy role.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And I mean, should I not get into
no, yeah.
Okay, but I mean, I just love Richard.
Richie.
We all love Richard.
Or no, Richie's
I know,
the
I'm kidding,
son,
I'm
right?
kidding.
Richie's the son.
People try to call him Richie, and he doesn't want to be called that.
Aren't
That's
you
right.
Richard?
I had grown up with those guys when I was a kid. My dad was a manager at a bar in Greenwich Village, and I was a busboy and I was a waiter, and I used to wait on John Belushi and Michelle Pfeiffer, and then I became a bartender, and I would be around those guys, and they'd be always coming in, and as a bartender especially, I'd be closing up at 4:00 in the morning, and they would come in, and I'd say, "Sorry guys, we're closed," and they'd be like, "No, you're not."
No, you're
And have
not.
to stay there till 6:00 in the morning and wait on them. So, but the whole time I was really enamored of their style and watching them and knowing that one day, I don't know why I thought this, but one day that I would, play them or use some of their mannerisms. And that's exactly what ended up happening. I think it was already in motion back then. I'm always observing. That's one of the great things about being an actor is that you can observe people. Unfortunately, when you get, a little bit more well-known, you can't do as much of that. Sorry. I have a terrierist as a dog. So I was, and my mother's boyfriend was a bank robber when I was growing up. So all that stuff.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. So all that stuff came, I put that into Richard. And that's why it's been so magnetic for me, even because I got to use all that stuff I was around as a kid.
Wow.
He is
That's
terrifying.
wow.
He is terrifying and appealing at the same time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, my husband is a Jersey boy, and most people think he's Italian. And he
Right.
he has that kind of same
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He
does.
does.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
feel.
He's
Oh, that's
very
a good
handsome with that
complexity.
slick hair.
and
Yeah.
he can be terrifying too if he wants to be.
That's good. That's a good complexity
Wait,
of character.
We do have to say all your characters are very sexy, but can we
Yeah.
ask you a really important question? You were one of the 50th sexiest people in the world per People magazine. In 1998, And in
Of 70s.
2000, what happened in 1999?
Yeah, we're very, very concerned about 1999.
Did you gain weight?
Oh yeah, that was a tough year for me.
You really fell off the wagon.
I mean, who knows? It's so subjective, you know.
We know. We know. Wait, what's your favorite show these days?
I have to tell you, I am so excited to be watching Hollywood. What a cast.
Yeah, amazing cast.
It is absolutely
Okay, I'm gonna have to
one
start
of
watching
the most beautifully cast series I have ever seen. And the work
But what about
is
Dylan?
profound.
Dylan.
Incredible.
Forget everyone
You had
else.
me in the first scene.
You had me at a low.
Yeah, I mean, what a setup of your character. It was just beautiful. And it really, I mean, this is a series that has, I guess, a beginning and an end, yes? Are there going to be more? Or it's just done? It just.
No, I'm not sure.
But sometimes in the first series of something, it takes a minute to sort of, people kind of sink into it and get richer. But no, this was like crack right out the gate. It's just, it's so beautifully done. What was playing that like for you? Or did you read it and just love it immediately? And congratulations, because you're nominated for an Emmy for it, yes?
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate
incredible.
Great.
Well deserved.
Again, I give all the credit to Ryan Murphy. I mean, we've been working together for over 10 years now on many projects, and he saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see in myself with that role. I mean, I'm indebted to him for so much of my career. He had the foresight. I mean, he saw it, and I was like, okay. Again, a couple of things that were really instrumental in my life were, first of all, growing up in the bar business. It was like a Eugene O'Neill, Iceman Cometh childhood. So to be around all these characters as a young boy and study them and hang out with them. And, I would work from 6 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I would go out with them. And I'm just a 15-year-old kid. And I would go out to the after hours bars with them and gamble till noon or 1 o'clock. And I think being around, especially for Hollywood, using all those guys who could drink and smoke and party and just live hard. None of them lived past 50, of course. But I really studied these guys when I hung out with them. And again, in Hollywood, I was able to use so much of my own life in that character, and that's what you want. You want to be able to draw from your life. And I think that's probably the most important thing, to have longevity as an actor. I think you have to have that. You have to have life experience, because so many actors end up having success with one character, but then they don't know how to do another character. So character work, especially now as I've gotten older, this is exactly where I want to be now, because I love the character stuff. This is always who I want it to be. So now it's really exciting that I get to play characters like Ernie West in Hollywood and Richard and Organized Crime and The Clove Hitch Killer, which is a completely different movie. So it's really an exciting time right now, because now I've really dropped into myself. The maturity is so important, I think, as an actor. And now I'm at a place where I'm free. It takes so long to get free.
Oh, yeah. So hard. So hard when you're young.
Yeah, the criticism of self. It takes so long to get rid of that. And you can, once you said, okay, well, this is who I am, then you can, whether you're an actor or not, just in life, then you can really live.
With our own Amy should take that advice. She'll understand that. It's good that you know that.
Yeah.
But when you were watching that show, did you notice a really brilliant young actress in the show?
I did. I noticed quite the cast. Yes, but your daughter, yes?
Yes, my
makes an
daughter's
appearance.
Colette McDermott, and she was wonderful. It was a dream come true for us to, be on the stage together and be in the scene. We didn't act together, but we were in the same scene together. Because 1 minute you're holding them in your arms, and the next minute, they're full grown, and now they're on the set with you, and it really was just so beautiful. And again, thank you to Ryan Murphy, because he cast her.
She got that on her own, didn't she?
She did, but I mean, I'm just saying, Ryan,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
To me, what's so beautiful too about the series, I mean, your daughter's in it, and then you've got Holland Taylor and Patti LuPone. Like you just have these these older women that haven't effed up their faces, that are so spectacular and doing such good work. It's just very inspiring to see that range of ages and personalities in a show like that. It's so I think episode 5 is maybe one of my favorite episodes of any television. I think that's the one. Maybe it's Jump. There's one that just, it's so
Okay, don't
funny.
give it away. I
Okay,
haven't
but
done it
I
yet.
have to say one of Holland Taylor's lines, and it's to you,
No.
is one of my favorite lines, where she says, it's very rich, but she says, yes, well, running a prostitution ring out of a gas station would always be a more lucrative endeavor than being an actor.
Yes.
And you're like, as she's offering him something wonderful. Anyway,
Heartbreaking.
it's heartbreaking. And when in that scene, I think it was that scene, I actually, before I think I was supposed to, because then it got harder, I cried for you. I was so happy for you. It's
Yeah,
just
you know what's
beautiful.
beautiful about that story is that it's never too late to find love.
Yes.
You know, and here's two people who one who is dying, and they're both older now, and they find each other late in life, and they're in love.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the most beautiful thing, because so much of the time in life that people give up. You know, I never fell in love, or I never had love in my life, and suddenly these two people meet and they find each other and find love, and I just think that's just the most beautiful part of that whole story.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. Everything about it's gorgeous. Yeah.
I know we should continue talking about your acting work, but there is something that I didn't know until I just read it, that you did in 2013. You had a photography exhibit. Do you still do that?
I do. I love taking pictures. I go out with my camera. Now with COVID, it's been really hard, but normally I go out. I started this actually when I did Hamburger Hill. I would go out and, you know, on a Sunday and a day off, and I would just kind of wander through the streets and find people and take pictures and, you know, just kind of like shut my brain off. And it really began there, this appreciation of photography, but also I think maybe even more importantly is the interaction that I get to have with people. Say, can I take your picture? And then a conversation ensues. Sometimes we'll talk for a little bit, or sometimes I'll give them money or whatever it is to relax people before I take their picture. I just think that engagement that you have with people on the street, for me, is the richest part about the whole experience. I enjoy that.
Do you still do it, and do people recognize you?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. It doesn't seem to matter. It's just like, it's not about me. It's about them. It's about me, you know, appreciating you as I take your picture.
When you did that exhibit, you were raising money for the V-Day organization? Was that something that you did with your stepmother?
Yeah, my mom, she's my adopted mom. She adopted me when I was 19, Eve Ensler, who wrote the Vagina Monologues. She came along in my life when I was about 15 years old, and she really saved my life. I mean, I was a troubled kid and going nowhere fast. And she's the one who said, you should be an actor. She saw something in me. Again, I have all these angels around me, like, you know, Eve Ensler and Joanne Woodward, who found me as a young actor, and Ryan Murphy. I've always had you, Risa, these angels that have always been around me and guided me.
Except Risa was the hesitant angel that didn't want to give you a shot till you.
Yeah.
till
That's
you
right.
It was
That's
Kevin.
right.
Let's blame it on let's blame it on Kevin Evane. Let's blame it on him.
Oh, you know, it's she literally, you know, walked me to HB Studios in New York and said, "You're going to be an actor."
Oh, wow.
She's an amazing
cool.
woman. She's an amazing woman. Do you want to talk about her a teeny bit?
I mean, I can't talk about her enough. I could talk about her all day. I mean, she's just, and I've known her since she's, you know, 22 years old. I mean, she's still the same person to this day. You know, she's a warrior. She really,
She was ahead of her time. like
Oh,
fighting
God.
for
Oh,
women?
yeah.
She's an activist, and really, she's truly an activist. I mean, back then she would be getting arrested all the time, demonstrating, and I mean, she has given her heart and soul to women around the world. I went with her about 10 years ago now to Congo. She has a safe house for women there, where they can start again, and recover from violence. And she has one in Kenya, and she's never stopping helping women, and she's never stopped since the moment I met her. And she's an artist, she's written great plays.
You've been in some of her plays.
She used to write me plays. We've worked together many, many times now. She's just a bright light in this world, and she's helped so many people, including me. I mean, she really turned my entire life around. And I was just like, I listened. The good thing that about me is that I'll listen. And I took that advice and I just ran with it.
You have a sister too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is she?
She lives in Florida.
Oh.
She's coming out, I think, in October for my birthday. So she'll be around. You'll meet her then.
You having a birthday party?
I don't know. I'm turning 60.
You're turning 60?
Oh,
it's a big
Oh,
one.
you have to have a birthday
Wow.
party for that.
That's a big one.
She's
yeah.
waiting for an
Yeah,
invite, by the
I am.
way.
We all are. We're coming.
I can't believe it. I'm saying it out loud because I can't believe it.
Everybody's
That's
turning
great,
60.
yeah.
Yeah.
60 is the new 35.
I'm sorry.
Except
Yes.
for you.
Soon, someday.
Don't rush my life.
Someday.
One day.
Going back to Richard, and that you're in the prime of your career now and really feeling like I'm where I should be and I'm who I'm supposed to be, and would you want to work with Scorsese now that you're this great crime boss, or would you want to be in with De Niro or with those guys? I mean, you could fit right in.
Of course, I mean, those are the top people in the industry. Of course, I would like to work with them. But, you just, whatever opportunity you get, whatever comes my way, I try to make the best of it in every possible way. In organized crime, I just know that role so well, and I'm able to improvise, and I'm able to, there's a freedom to me that in that role that I love. So it's so pleasurable for me to go to work.
Yeah, you feel it when you're watching. You're having fun.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, in a take. And that's dangerous, because you don't know. And that's the best part about playing him.
So, one night I had some people over for dinner. Dylan was one of them. So was his daughter. And his daughter's boyfriend, too, I think. But
Yeah.
he was so worried about COVID, like everybody was. We were so worried about COVID. So worried. But I had home tests. I tested everybody. But Dylan was the most worried. And so,
By the way, that's why I got it.
what? You got COVID?
COVID, yes, of course.
You
You're
did?
worried.
Was it then? Was it in this story
No,
or later?
when I went to New York, I got it. So.
Oh, you
But,
did? How are you? How was it? I mean,
How was your ride with COVID?
did you feel
Tell
bad?
us
Was
everything.
it bad?
she asked like it was like a subway ride.
It was.
It's horrible. I mean, it's, you have just like the worst thing. I mean, I had a nasty, nasty headache for like 9 days. The worst thing for me was the inflammation. Nobody really talks about that. It takes a long time to get rid of the inflammation. Inflammation is the worst thing you can have in your body because that's what causes disease. It took me a long time to get rid of the inflammation. And that was the most troubling thing for me. But I was just happy it didn't go into my lungs. So thankfully, knock wood, it didn't go into my lungs. And I just had a really bad headache and inflammation.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But,
now you're probably superhuman.
Yeah.
All those antibodies are good. Yeah.
Now you have really good antibodies, just so
Yeah.
you know, because you've had it.
So I have a question.
Yes.
And we won't tell anybody that if you do want to share the answer, it'll just be between us.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But
And
what
the recording.
But what happens to Angela?
I don't know. Oh, gosh. I don't know what happens to Angela or Richard. You just sort of like, you get the script and.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. I really don't know.
But she survives. I can tell. Maybe
You're
she
wishing
doesn't.
it.
Okay, that was my personal question. Kind of personal.
Gloria's big on personal questions, but we're trying to keep her at bay.
I'm behaving. I'm doing really
no, don't
well.
worry. She's not. We're kidding. We're
Personal
kidding.
questions.
We're kidding. We're kidding. No, we're done. We are kidding. Okay, so of all of these characters they're all so amazing. We didn't talk about American Horror Story. Of all these characters, who's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Or is it like saying, who's your favorite child?
Yeah, there really is. I mean, there are favorites along the way. I think that certainly Richard is one of them. I think that, Bobby Donald from The Practice. I think The Clovehitch Killer. I love that. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. I play a serial killer based on a real guy, a BTK killer. And it's doing really well on Netflix. So that was interesting because it was a complete departure from me. I changed my voice. I changed my look. I gained weight for the part. I shaved my hairline back and just was like one of those guys who I was just completely in for a couple of months. So he was certainly one of them. I mean, yeah, there's like I say, you can't really say this is my favorite because they're all sort of, part of you.
When you're playing that role, do you take it home with you or?
Yeah,
The serial
that role,
killer one?
Yeah.
that one I
I don't
did.
think I'd want to live with him during that time. I'd
Yeah,
be
no, that was
scared.
a while to kind of wash him off.
Yeah.
You don't want to live with him? He didn't invite you to live with him.
I'm inviting myself. Not during that role.
But any other time, she'd love to move in. So just you
She
heard
and
it
her
here.
husband.
Part-time. I don't.
And I'm the naughty one? No.
You are.
No.
We could pick your brain for another half an hour, but
I know. Here's a follow-up, though. I do want to hear more about your photography and if you're going to have any real exhibits coming up.
And will we be invited? Is that?
I mean, is that something that you're actively pursuing?
Yes, I mean, I would like to do that again. I'm sort of like compiling photos as I go and figuring out, what is worthy of a show. Certainly a theme is always good. If you go to a different country or an event, something that creates a theme for a photography show.
And is it always people that you shoot?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like street photography, only because of what I said before, the engagement of people in general and having that experience. I really enjoy that the most. And then, finally taking their picture when they're relaxed, because you don't want to just roll up on somebody and take their picture. You want to sort of like have an experience.
Do you have a favorite camera?
Yes, I use Leica.
I thought
that's
so.
what you use.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? What do you have?
I have a C-Lux, just a little one, but I bought my husband the Q.
Okay.
And I think he has one other, but I'm not sure what it is. So we're very amateur in it.
Leica is amazing.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
The photos, the C-Lux is incredible. It's just a little point and shoot that we bought in Paris because we didn't take like any fancy camera. And I'm like, why didn't we bring a great camera here?
Then you have to carry it around.
Then you have to carry it around.
That's why.
Right. So then we buy this little point and shoot, and it is the most incredible. The resolution, you could print a billboard from the resolution from some of these shots in high resolution. Yeah, really cool.
I tried to take a photography class once at UCLA, but then I'm driving there and I was late for the class, and then I get a work call. And then I pull over, take the work call. Then I'm like 45 minutes
And then
late
you
for
have
the
road
class.
rage in the midst of it.
And then I've got 45 minutes. Then I can't go to the class because I'm already late for the class because I had to take care of work.
So you tried to take a photography class.
Yeah, you
Right.
didn't
And
actually
I have
take it.
I have cameras.
But you've got,
I've got the
you're like
camera.
Fred. He
Just
likes
in
the
case.
outfits. He doesn't want to do the work.
Exactly. Well,
amazing.
anyway, girls,
Amazing.
thank you for sharing.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Please come back again.
Yes, thank you. Of course.
And we'll look forward to getting the invitation to your 60th birthday party.
Because we'll turn up anyway.
Well, maybe we should give it for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
60th birthday podcast.
A 60th birthday podcast.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
There you
that's what we
go.
can.
No, when's your birthday? When is it?
October 26th.
Well, then
So
we
you're
should-
Libra.
No, that's
Scorpio.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Close.
So we probably should say happy birthday.
Right now?
Birthday.
Well, almost.
Okay,
Should we sing?
happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But can we still come, even if we say happy birthday now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. He was brilliant.
Oh
lovely.
my gosh, how
Exactly
fun was
wonderful.
that?
Yeah.
And his
Wait,
music?
forget how gorgeous. He's so nice.
He's so funny and so nice and so smart and so interesting.
And good taste in music.
But
obviously.
I bet he's complicated.
You think?
Maybe.
Especially as he's gotten into his prime.
Well,
These
everybody's
guys got-
complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody.
Yeah, most people.
Not everybody.
The interesting ones.
yeah, the ones that are worth.
Knowing.
Worth talking
Yes.
to, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so
We all have some raggeries or some kudos for this week.
It's been a really nice week. I don't think I really moaned about
This
my
has
Wow.
been a nice week.
Oh, cut. I apparently am not paying attention this week.
wow.
I can tell you a great kudos.
Go
yeah.
on.
Our governor did not get recalled.
I know that's true.
Not that
I
he's
think
the greatest
that's it.
governor, but I think
At
that the
all.
alternative
that's a bad
is
idea.
painful.
Wait, next to Abbott and Costello in Florida.
Yeah, he's better than them.
I mean,
he's
they're
better
all
than them.
horrible,
but
but
he's
let's-
still.
there's-
He's got a long way to go for being.
Is that a
great.
raggery or a kudos?
It's both. It's
Yeah,
both.
it really is both.
Kudo. Just one.
It's a kudo.
At least Larry Elder
It's a
didn't
record.
get in and all
Yes.
these other
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
crazies.
Then we would be like Texas and Florida.
You would, we
You
would-
know that I
give it a minute.
voted literally. I didn't know where my ballot was. It was at my old business manager, and then eventually they sent it to my new business manager. So last night, God bless my assistant, she took her ballot and mine and mailed it last night.
Last night.
You could if it was postmarked last night.
Oh, so it hasn't been counted yet
Good night.
anyway.
Had to be postmarked, kind of like your
I voted
tax
in person.
return. It
Yeah,
has to be
exactly.
postmarked.
Yeah, yeah.
You voted yesterday
I went
too?
in person.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? I get to
I
absentee
did
vote.
mine by mail.
Everybody was supposed to get one by mail, but I didn't get one. And you know why? Because they had me living in Manhattan Beach in the records.
See?
We don't know how that happened or
Somehow
why,
I know.
When that happens.
but that's why I didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Raggeries? Kudos?
Well, yeah, here's
Great
my
things?
raggery.
Oh, you have one now?
I do, I just remembered. There was a man sitting outside Chipotle near my hairdresser's.
Chipotle.
What did I call it?
Twice today you said Chipotle.
As opposed to?
Chipotle.
Play,
L-E.
not E.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Chipotle.
Sitting outside
Uh-huh.
with his dog not on a leash, on a busy
Oh
street.
my God.
Aw.
And I wanted to take the dog home, but he wouldn't let me.
Did you ask him?
I did.
Did
I
you
did,
say
didn't I? I was
because you
talking
did?
to Amy
Yeah.
on the phone.
Did you say because you have no leash, I should take your dog?
No, it was just no. He was really an asshole. He was sitting there all by himself. I said, "Is this your dog?"
He's probably a homeless guy or something.
I think he might have been. I took a picture when I got off the elevator.
Couldn't afford a leash.
But I said, "He's eating Chipotle." However
That's
you
not
say
very
it,
expensive.
Chipotle.
That's not very expensive.
But anyway, I said, "Is this your dog?" And he looks around. And he goes, "Do you see anybody else here?"
That sounds like something you would say.
She goes, he's really, she goes, he's really cute. I think he wants to come home with me. And then I didn't hear him say
No,
anything
I don't
else.
think he really liked me.
No?
That's my raggery. That's not my kudos. That's my raggery.
Sloan.
Well, I have something, but I'm really going to discuss it on our next week's podcast.
Okay. You wanna plant
That's
a
the
seed?
new Woodward book and Bob Costa
Oh.
book called Peril, about Milley and Trump and Afghanistan and Somalia.
Is it
and
a
I
true
want to get a
story?
yes, this is a big new thing.
It's a new fantasy
Lots
novel.
of new dirt. Not that we need more on the Trump era, but anyway, it's
Yeah.
pretty juicy. I think I'll save it.
Okay. Is it a raggery or a kudos? No.
Well, I guess it's a kudos to Woodward to writing it.
Yeah.
And it's probably a
raggery within.
a raggery on some levels, and a kudos. We'll have to see
What's
what Mark
something-
Milley really. I mean, whether he was a good guy or not a good guy. I mean, they were worried about Trump having his finger on the nuclear codes during
Yeah.
this time.
I read that.
Me too. And they were able to stop all that. Like right after
Secret
January
precautions.
6th. Yeah. But I knew there had to be one. But you always wondered,
Yeah, yeah.
what if?
It's kind of scary.
Going back to a previous thought I just had, something that's a kudos on the outside, but a raggery on the inside. What's a food that would match that? Is that like a Twinkie?
Kudos on the outside.
Like a fried Twinkie?
Kudos on the outside.
If
so
you
it's
don't
good
like
on the
goo,
outside and it's icky
gross
on the inside. It's usually the opposite.
No, I'll tell you what that is.
What is that?
A jelly donut.
Yes,
Ew.
I knew we could come up with something.
Ew.
Agreed.
Exactly what it is.
That's
on
exactly
both
what.
sides. Oh,
You don't like the
God.
outside?
No.
Oh.
Who would eat
Do you
that
think
crap?
she eats a donut?
No.
Do you know
but
what it is?
Do I know what a donut is?
Yes. Do you?
I'm insulted.
Sorry, you just don't look like you would know what a donut is.
I know what a beignet is. I know.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's
I'm
Hey.
caught with the American version.
Oh.
Excuse me.
So a jelly donut is like
yeah, yes.
it's a kudos
Yes,
on the outside
that's
with the
what I could
raspberry
say.
on the inside.
Does anybody have a jelly donut today?
But I think that's actually like a really gross sexual thing.
A jelly
I
donut?
think so. Let's Google it. So I'm going to regret it.
No, you're thinking of that fleshlight thing.
No.
Where's Joanne? Where's Joanne when we need her?
That's exactly what I said about Chris West. How Sloan, how she responds when we become immature.
We're lowering our level of
Our base.
discourse
It's
dramatically.
getting edited.
Wait.
We're lowering our base. We couldn't be any lower.
We like it.
This is us. Why do you want to edit us?
We want to be
This is
for real.
not us.
We like to be for the people.
Okay, so let's say goodbye, and then I'll do my jelly donut research
Okay.
after
You'll
we've
say
signed
that.
off.
That's a stay tuned.
Bye for now. For now.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.